So today we're looking at something that's, well, it's pretty different. It isn't an article or some dataset. It's a framework, a system called Withloveonology, and it's designed to do something pretty incredible. Protect and scale a single, deeply human message. Let's dive in and see how it actually works.
You know, the entire system really boils down to answering this one fundamental question. How do you protect a feeling? How do you take a raw human expression of truth and make sure it doesn't get twisted or, lose its heart as it gets shared around the world? That's the big puzzle this whole thing is trying to solve. And its purpose is, well, really direct. The goal is to express human reality. We're talking about things like effort, inequality, and value, but to always do it with dignity. The source material is super clear on this. This is not about pointing fingers or creating division. It's about opening up a space for us to just reflect and understand.
Okay, so let's actually get into the message itself. The system calls this the core expression. Now, as I read this, I'm going to follow the project's own guidelines, which means keeping the tone calm, grounded, and slow, just letting the words themselves do the talking.
You are a form, I am the labor. It is my work that gave you shape. While I carved, you were only stone. After I finished, you became sacred, and I was kept away.
You stand in the place that I built, yet I am not allowed to stand there. The light before you is lit by my sweat, yet my life remains in the dark.
What my hands create is honored, but the same hands are denied dignity.
Not birth, not work defines a human. A human is simply human. One earth, one life, one dignity. These words are not just pain. They are truths to be noticed.
And it wraps up with this incredibly important clarification. This is not a fight against anyone. It is a direction for all of us to change. Withloveonology. Okay, so you've got this really powerful, emotional message at the heart of it all. But how do you stop it from being misunderstood or, even worse, turned into some kind of weapon? Well, that's where the system of principles comes into play. This is the logic, the framework designed to protect that feeling.
And this right here is the absolute bedrock of the whole system. These are the non-negotiables. It doesn't matter what format it's in, video, text, audio, or what language it's in. These two rules are absolute. The core meaning cannot change, and the feeling must always be grounded in our shared humanity.
What's so fascinating here is just how specific the system gets about the emotion. It's not just about what you say, it's all about how it has to feel. It has to always have this quiet strength, this soft tone, and here's the key. It can never be angry or accusatory or preachy. It's really about sharing a truth, not trying to prove a point.
Right, and to make absolutely sure nothing slips through the cracks, there's this final check. Before any version of the message goes out, it gets run through these 5 simple questions. Is it simple? Is it human? Is it calm? Is the meaning unchanged? And maybe most importantly, can anyone understand it instantly? If even one of those is a no, it goes back to be refined.
So once you built these guardrails to protect the message, the next big question is, how do you scale it? How do you let this very carefully crafted message be expressed by many different voices in many different cultures without breaking the whole thing?
And this is how they do it. The process is so important here. It explicitly says you do not just translate it word for word. The idea isn't just about converting language. It's about making sure the core meaning and that emotional simplicity are preserved so the message feels totally native, totally at home in every single language.
And this sums it all up perfectly. This is the goal. You start with that one single truth. You pass it through all these different voices, all these different languages, but the result at the end has to be the exact same human feeling. That emotional consistency, that's everything. That's how they measure success.
So where does all of this land? What's the big picture here? The project finishes up by really clearly defining what it is, and also what it isn't. It sees itself as a living expression, not just some static text.
The final vision kicks off with a really powerful, clear statement. This is not content. It's not made to fight for your clicks or your attention in the super noisy world we live in. It's something else entirely.
It doesn't ask for your attention. It's just out there existing, so it can be found by people who might need to hear it, or maybe even express it themselves.
All it asks for is understanding. That's its only call to action, just to connect, on that level of a shared human experience.
It's not trying to create conflict or divide anyone. It's just there to remind us
That we are all part of the same earth, living the same life,
and deserving the same dignity. It's a really powerful thought to end on, because it brings everything full circle, right back to that original purpose, to express our human reality with dignity.